The lights are blinding, the crowd is loud, and under that neon haze, everything feels bigger than it really is. The smiles, the applause, even the silence. Jimmy's stage isn't just a talk show. It's a ritual, a place where fame is polished, softened, made safe for television. But tonight, something raw is about to slip through. Cardi walks in, glitter catching every flash of light. The room moves with her. She's not trying. She just exists, louder than the stage can handle. The audience roars, phones rise, and Jimmy does what he always does, welcomes chaos with a grin. "Cardi B, ladies and gentlemen," he says, laughter in his voice. "I've been practicing my okurr all week." The crowd erupts. Cardi laughs, polite, a little real, a little forced. Then he does it again, and again. Sickness, each exaggerated trill turns her accent into a punchline. At first it's playful, the kind of teasing that late night thrives on, but the laughter grows sharper. It starts to echo, to linger a second too long. Cardi's smile tightens. She shifts in her chair. "You sound like a pigeon," she says, half joking. The audience laughs again, but this time her eyes don't. No, that's how you say it, right? I'm doing it right? There a pause, small, invisible, but enough. In that pause, something changes. Because this isn't just a sound. This is her, the Bronx, the rhythm of her voice, the way she talks when she doesn't have to explain herself. And now it's being performed back to her, flattened for laughs. Millions are watching. Cameras swing. Producers smile from the wings. Everything looks like fun. On TV, it always does. But inside, she's calculating. How many times can she laugh before it stops sounding human? Chimmicks her again. The crowd howls, and the tension thickens like humidity. The sparkle in her eyes turns cold. "Yo," she says, low enough that the mic almost misses it. "You trying to make fun of me?" It's still playful, still showbiz, but her tone freezes him for a second. Jimmy chuckles, nervous now. No, I'm just trying to get it right." Then maybe don't try. The room shifts. The audience doesn't know whether to laugh or go silent. Some do both. He tries to save it with charm, a joke, a smile, a glance toward the band. But it's too late. The air has changed. Everyone in that studio feels it. Something real just cracked through the script. Smiles again, slow this time, almost like she's daring him to keep going. And he does. Shall me about hosts do. They chase comfort through laughter, even when it's running from them. He mimics her once as humor. "I just wish I could talk like you. You make everything sound cooler." It's smoother, safer, but the damage is done. Cardi leans back, crossing her arms. "You could try," she says, "but you'd need my story too." Has audience claps. It sounds supportive, but nobody's really sure what they're clapping for anymore. The camera zooms in. Her nails tap against the armrest. Rhythm, tension, heartbeat. Jimmy laughs it off, moving to the next question. But he's already lost control of the room. Every smile after that feels rehearsed. Every answer from Cardi sounds measured. And somewhere in that glittering space between laughter and silence, something darker brews. The kind of energy that doesn't fade when the camera's cut. Because tonight, on live television, a boundary was crossed. And Cardi felt it. The accent wasn't just sound, it was identity. And when you mock that, you're not teasing a celebrity, you're poking at a life that fought to be heard. The show goes on. It always does. But not the same way. As the segment rolls towards its end, the tension doesn't dissolve, it hides, waiting. Somewhere in that silence between applause and outro music, you can feel it, the weight of something unfinished. Shields smiling for the audience, but behind the eyes, the Bronx is awake. And when the cameras go off, That's when the real story begins. But Cardi B isn't the kind to let a laugh be the last word. The commercial break hits like a breath of cold air. The stage dims, the laughter dissolves into murmurs, and crew members sweep across the floor with quiet urgency. But Cardi doesn't move. She's sitting there, half smiling, half somewhere else. The makeup artist leans in with a brush, trying to retouch the glow. She waves it away gently. "I'm good," she says, voice low. Jimmy walks back towards his desk, laughing with the producer. It sounds forced now, like laughter borrowed from an old recording. Everyone knows something shifted, but no one wants to name it. That's not how television works. Cardi adjusts her mic, eyes following him. When the red light above the camera flicks on again, the show resumes, bright, polished, and full of noise. Jimmy turns back to her, his voice bouncing with energy. "So, let's talk about your new single." She nods, the perfect guest again. "Yeah, it's crazy. I've been working on it for months." Her tone is easy, but there's tension under the words, like a drumbeat waiting to break free. Jimmy grins. "You always got the most unique way of saying things. I swear, half the time, I need subtitles when you talk." The audience laughs, not cruelly, just obediently. Cardi's eyes lift slowly to his. There's a flicker. Disbelief, irritation, something sharper than either. She tilts her head. "Subtitles?" He chuckles, "I mean. You got your own language. It's awesome." She doesn't answer right away. Silence slides into the space between them. A long, uncut silence, rare for live TV. Someone in the control room whispers through a headset, urging Jimmy to move on. But he doesn't. He keeps smiling, pretending nothing's wrong. Cardi breaks the silence. "You from Brooklyn, right?" He nods. "Born and raised." "So you know what accents sound like?" Her voice is calm, precise. The crowd laughs lightly, sensing tension, but unsure what to do with it. Nods again. "Of course. I mean, I love accents. I think they're what make people..." She cuts in softly. "People laugh?" Not angry. It's surgical. He freezes. No, I mean... You mean it's funny when I talk." Audience goes still. You can almost hear the studio lights humming. Jang opens his mouth, then closes it. She leans forward slightly, her bracelets clinking against the armrest. "You know how long I used to try to not sound like me? How many people told me I had to talk different to be taken serious?" Her tone isn't loud, but every syllable lands heavy. "I used to hate my voice. Thought it made me sound stupid. Then I realized, nah, it makes me sound real. That's why people listen now." The audience breaks into applause, uneasy at first, then louder. Jimmy forces a smile, clapping along, but it's hollow. Cardi sits back. "So yeah, you don't need subtitles. You just need to listen." For a moment, the show feels like it's not a show anymore. It feels like truth breaking through bright lights and studio air. Jimmy exhales through a grin that doesn't quite stick. You're right. My bad. I just meant you got personality." She laughs once. Quick. No warmth. "I got more than that." Laugh from the audience comes too late. Delayed. Nervous. The next question on his card is about her music video, but the words blur in his hand. He's still thinking about what just happened, how the mood turned without warning. Every laugh after that sounds offbeat. Every cheer feels rehearsed. By the time they cut to the next segment, Jimmy's eyes also into it. Jimmy's also lost 5, the 24,000 and fortunal, 3,842. He's still into it. For the next segment, Jimmy's eyes dart everywhere but hers. Christy sits quietly, scrolling her nails against the table edge. She looks calm, but inside, something's burning. Not rage, just the familiar sting of being turned into an imitation. The final commercial break arrives. He leans toward her, voice barely above the applause. "Hey, I didn't mean anything by it." She turns, smiling just enough to look civil. "It's cool," she says. "You meant what you meant." That line hangs in the air long after the cameras fade to black. When the show ends and the crowd files out, the real noise begins backstage. Whispers, questions, rewinds of the moment everyone saw, but no one expected. Producers start damage control before the clip even finishes uploading online. The edit will soften the edges, trim the silence, and make it look like a joke that landed just right. Wilmington, then the raw feed, the one still sitting on the studio's hard drive, tells another story. A story where laughter stopped meaning fun. A story where Cardi B didn't just laugh it off. She's quiet as her team leads her out the back exit, away from the flashing cameras, away from the spin. But in her silence, there's a promise forming. Because when someone like Cardi feels mocked, she doesn't bury it. She builds something from it. And before the night is over, that promise will explode across the internet. This isn't the end of the segment. It's the beginning of a storm. The show ends in applause, but not the kind that follows joy. It's the kind that hides discomfort, the kind that keeps the illusion alive. Jimmy waves, Cardi smiles, the band plays them out. The cameras fade to black, and suddenly the air feels heavier. Behind the curtain, producers swarm. They talk in hushed tones, their smiles stretched too thin. Someone mutters, "We'll fix it in post." Someone else whispers, "It didn't sound that bad, right?" Cardi walks past them without a word. Her heels hit the floor in sharp rhythm, each step louder than the last. Her publicist catches up. "Cardi, it's fine, he's just..." She'll stops. "He's just what? Playing?" The publicist hesitates. "It's his job. He teases everyone." Cardi looks at her, eyes steady. "He ain't tease, he mocked." Jang hallway is quiet, except for the echo of her words. From inside the studio, Jimmy's laugh still carries faintly. Rehearsed, nervous, fading. The next morning, the internet wakes up before the sun. The clip hits Twitter first, posted by a fan account. Cardi B calls out Jimmy Fallon for mocking her accent live on air. Shift like wildfire. Within an hour, millions are watching, dissecting, freezing every frame. One tweet reads, "She handled that with class." Another, "This is why people don't go on these shows." And then, "She should have walked off right there." The network stays silent, pretending nothing happened. But Jimmy can feel it, the shift in tone, the static in the air. He scrolls through headlines with tired eyes. The same ones that once called him America's favorite host now whisper words like mockery, insensitive, tone deaf. Simmons, meanwhile, is in a studio across town, surrounded by beats, people, noise. Yet her focus is somewhere else. Her phone buzzes non-stop, mentions, tags, clips, even memes. But beneath the noise, one thing keeps echoing in her head. That laugh. That split second where the audience wasn't laughing with her, they were laughing at her. She picks up her phone and opens Instagram. The blank story bar at the top glows, waiting. She stares at it for a moment before hitting record. The camera shakes slightly as she speaks. Y'all ever notice how when I talk, people think it's funny? Like, my voice make them laugh before I even say something? That's not cool. That's not funny. I'm proud of where I'm from. I talk how I talk, because that's me. Period. She posts it. Within minutes, it's everywhere. Screenshots, reposts, reaction videos. The comment sections, Xiaomi she said what needed to be said. Relinquished her accent, it's culture. Jimmy owes her an apology. By afternoon, news outlets are calling it a cultural moment. Morning shows play the clip in loops. Talk radio debates it. Think pieces appear within hours. Hamilton team drafts a statement, something light, safe, corporate. Jimmy Fallon and Cardi B share a mutual respect. Last night's show was meant to be fun and celebratory. No offense was intended. Salmon reads it and laughs. The kind of laugh that isn't humor, it's disbelief. No offense was intended, she repeats to her stylist. That's the same thing people say when they know they messed up. Her stylist nods but stays quiet. Everyone around her knows. She's not done. That night she goes live again. Millions tune in. Her energy is calm, but her eyes tell a different story. I'm not mad, she says, but people gotta stop acting like it's okay to make fun of the way we talk. When you come from places like the Bronx or Queens or anywhere people got flavor, they treat your voice like a costume. They laugh, they mimic, but they don't listen. That's why I said something, 'cause I ain't no punchline. She pauses, staring into the camera. Respect my voice. Respect our voices. Mission Selfish scroll faster than she can read. Support, outrage, solidarity. But buried between them, one username stands out. Jimmy Fallon. Verified. He's watching. The next morning, his team calls Cardi's. They want to talk. They want her back on the show. They say they want to clear the air. She listened, then says, if I come back, I'm saying what I need to say. No editing, no laugh track. They hesitate. We'll have to check with production. She ends the call. Do that. That Jimmy looks into his mirror backstage. He's been doing this for years, smoothing the rough edges of fame, making people likable, digestible. But this one hit different. Because it wasn't just a celebrity he made uncomfortable. It was a mirror he accidentally cracked. He takes a breath, looks down at his notes, and mutters to himself, maybe I went too far. That night, days later, Cardi walks back onto that stage. No glitter, no choreography, just her. Plain black outfit, quiet fire in her walk. The crowd cheers louder this time. Not for the joke, but for the showdown they know is coming. Jimmy stands, smiling, but it's thin. Welcome back. She nods. Let's talk. The audience falls silent. This time there's no laughter to hide behind, and before the next break, that no one in that studio will ever forget. The applause hits like thunder, but underneath it you can feel something trembling. The tension that never left after that night. Cardi sits opposite Jimmy again, but everything's different now. The lights feel colder, the air feels heavy. There's no playful music cue, no forced cheer. Just two people sitting under the weight of millions of eyes. Jeff tries to ease into it. Cardi, he begins, his voice softer than usual. First off, thanks for coming back. She nods once. I ain't the type to hide. The audience laughs nervously. It's not humor, it's habit. He shifts in his seat, cards in hand, fingers fidgeting. There's been a lot of talk since the last show. I just want to clear things up. Cardi tilts her head slightly. Clear things up or clean things up? Half laughter, half gasp. Forces a smile. I mean, I just want people to know there was no bad intent. But there was bad impact. You see the difference? The words hit hard. Not shouted, just true. Hair down, exhaling. I didn't mean to make you feel mocked. Her tone stays calm, almost too calm. You didn't make me feel mocked. You mocked me. The room freezes. You can feel every heartbeat sinking in silence. Opens his mouth, closes it again. He's not used to losing control of the rhythm. Not here, not on his stage. Cardi continues. People think it's a joke till it's them. Till somebody copies the way they talk, the way they move, and turns it into entertainment. Her voice wavers, not from weakness, but from weight. You know how hard it is to make people respect you when they think you're funny before you even speak? A pause. Jimmy looks up at her, something breaking in his face. Pride, maybe, or guilt. You're right, he says quietly. I messed up. For a moment, the tension softens. The crowd exhales. Then she asks, so why'd it take the internet to tell you that? Silent again. Long, uncut, unpolished. Blinks, caught between apology and defense. Because sometimes you don't realize how something looks until the world shows you. She sits back. That's the problem. You only hear us when it's trending. All audience murmurs, small nods, whispers, uncomfortable truth filling the space. He rubs his temples, trying to steady the conversation. I get it. I really do. I didn't grow up like you did. I don't have your background. But I never wanted to make you feel... She cuts him off gently. You don't gotta understand where I'm from. Just respect that I'm from somewhere. The crowd claps, this time for real. It's not entertainment anymore. It's truth breaking through broadcast. Jimmy nods. Slowly. You're right. Then, something unexpected happens. He puts down his cue cards. No jokes, no setup. Just two people talking. Raw. I watch you, he says. I see how hard you work. And I forget sometimes that when I joke, I'm not joking with you. I'm joking at you. And that's not what I want to be. For a second, Cardi softens. The tension in her shoulders drops. Then don't be that, Jimmy. You don't gotta be the funny guy all the time. Sometimes you just gotta be real. The audience claps. It feels like release. Jimmy nods. I can do that. She smiles, just a little. Good, 'cause the world got enough clowns. Tesser, the laughter that follows is real. Not mockery, just relief. For a moment, it feels like redemption. But that's the thing about moments. They don't last. The producer in Jimmy's earpiece tells him they're over time. He needs to wrap it up. He starts to close the show, to bring it home with charm and rhythm. So, Cardi's new album drops next month, he says, trying to lighten the tone. And I promise, no subtitles needed. He smiles, trying to make it sound playful, harmless. But the words hang wrong. Cardi's face changes. Just slightly, but enough. The crowd doesn't react this time. They feel it too. She blinks slowly, leans forward, and whispers, You just couldn't help yourself, huh? His face drops. I didn't mean... She stands up, calm, cold, unapologetic. It's cool. I already said what I needed to say. The audience gasps as she walks off. No shouting, no drama, just silence that feels louder than applause. Jimmy sits frozen, staring at the empty chair across from him. The studio doesn't know what to do. Clap, cut, or breathe. He swallows hard, tries to speak, but the words stick. We'll be right back, he finally manages. The band starts playing. The camera pans out, but even the music sounds off, too bright for what just happened. Backstage, Cardi keeps walking. Her team follows, whispering, pleading. Maybe go back just to finish it clean? Had the dressing room door. For a moment, she says nothing. Then, finally, clean. They never want it clean till they get dirty first. She opens the door, steps inside, and shuts it quietly. Producers scrambling, PR teams texting, everyone afraid to admit what the cameras caught. The truth, unedited, unfixable. Then, footsteps. Cardi reappears. Calm again, composed. She walks straight past the crew back onto the stage. The audience rises, stunned. Jimmy turns, shocked. You came back. She nods. I ain't walking away from my own voice. The crowd erupts. Applause floods the room. She sits, looks him dead in the eye. You wanted real TV? she says. Now you got it. And just like that, the show turns from entertainment into history. For the first time that night, Jimmy doesn't try to joke. He just listens. Because now, even he knows, this isn't about an accent anymore. It's about being heard. The applause fades, leaving only the hum of lights. Two people sit across from each other, no cards, no laughter, no act left to play. Cardinal's Cardi exhales slowly. You know, it's not just about me, she says. Every time somebody laughs at how we talk, they laughing at a whole world they don't understand. Jimmy nods, but words fail him. For once, the man who makes everyone speak can't find anything to say. The silence stretches, raw, uncomfortable, honest. Cardi looks at the crowd. I ain't mad no more. I just want respect. That's it. A soft ripple of applause rises. Not loud, just enough. Jimmy finally speaks. You deserve that. All of it. Stands, nodding once. Then make sure the next person who sits here don't gotta fight for it. Turns, walking off again. This time for good. No cameras follow, no music cues, just the sound of heels fading into the hallway. Jimmy stays seated, eyes fixed on the empty chair. The studio feels smaller now. The laughter that built this place suddenly means less than silence. The clip goes viral. Not for shock, but for truth. People don't talk about who won, they talk about who listened. And somewhere in the noise of headlines and hashtags, a single line cuts through it all. Sometimes walking away isn't quitting. It's remembering who you were before the noise. The lights go dark. The echoes linger. And for the first time in years, late-night television feels real.